Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. With that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsor. Organic herbs and botanicals, skincare and edibles, wellness for body and mind. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. All right, thank you all so much for watching again. Shout out The Brothers Apothecary. Make sure to click the link below and go check them out. I guarantee you're going to like it. Make sure to use code JAMBOX for 20% off and a free gift. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
What's up, everybody? Martial Law.
Hello.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Let's go ahead and get on into it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, who you are, where you're from, what you do. Give us that Tinder profile of your involvement with music.
Yeah, absolutely. My name's Martial Law. I'm a hip-hop artist from Vancouver, Washington. Been making music for a lot of years of my life now. Kind of carried on into a little bit more of an endeavor and a career over the past 4 to 5 years specifically. But yeah, I mean, that's basically who I am. And if you don't know who I am,
now you do.
You do. And please check out all the links that I have in my bio.
Oh, yeah. And, we're definitely going to talk more about what you're doing now in a little bit, but let's go ahead and get started right at the beginning. What got you into music initially?
So initially, when I have a little brother, and we're 2 years, 10 days apart. Shout out my little brother, Mitchell. He's actually getting married in June here.
Exciting.
But
congratulations,
excuse
Mitchell.
me, July. He's going to kill me for that. But no, our parents, I grew up in a household where my parents were very, very heavily music influenced. So we had, from my earliest memories, we had Iron Maiden playing.
Okay.
And we wanted to be in a rock band. I found out very quickly I didn't have the singing voice to be in a rock band, but my parents had bought my brother and I a guitar and a drum set, and we're probably 6, 8 years old.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to your parents one time.
Shout out Mom and Dad. You guys kind of spiked this whole thing, but my brother and I, we decided we were going to try to make songs, and I didn't know what a chord was or anything. I'm just strumming away on the guitar, and we started putting on little concerts for my mom and dad when we were kids, and they were just like, oh man, they're so bad. No, I'm kidding. Well, that's the thing. It's like we had no idea where it would lead to in life, but even just those little memories that I cherish now at this point in time have of launched this whole career that I've made for myself since then. So.
I always say anybody who's willing to let a drum set be in the house with people who do not know how to play a drum set, those are the type of musical parents that are their kids are destined to do something with music.
Oh, absolutely.
That is just such an abrasive instrument to have otherwise, especially during the learning phase, when they're no, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, those are the parents that care about their kids doing music. So that's really
I think they grew to regret it after a little while because I have one memory, and I won't dive too far into it, but I remember my little brother one night, and it's probably 10 o'clock. We're supposed to be going to bed. We've got school the next day, and I'm in my room, and I just hear and I hear my dad, what the hell's going on? Walk in, my little brother's in there jamming on the drums at 11 o'clock at night.
Yep.
Yeah, no, they bless my parents for giving us that opportunity when we were young, for sure.
No, totally. Funny enough, my earliest memory I have as a conscious human being is that same story, but at 6 in the morning. My first stream of conscious human adult moment or human moment was going down way too early in the morning, grabbing drumsticks and I couldn't have been more than 4, 5, somewhere in there. So yeah, I fully understand the outcome of that scenario. But hey, that sounds like a super solid start for sure.
Oh yeah, it definitely. It built a passion, and growing up one of my favorite songs of all time. Really kind of launched what I wanted to do, and that song's "Put Your Lights On" by Everlast and Santana.
Okay,
and
hell yeah.
Hearing Santana's guitar solos on that song, and I have the first memory of this song is we were about to take a trip down to go see my grandparents in California. And we were in our old F-150 with, the half cab in the back. So brother and I are scrunched in there. And my dad turns the song on, and we're turning on to 205 South. And because we were going to go stop at Krispy Kreme as we always did before every trip. And it's night, this song starts playing, and I just remember falling in love. And just now, whenever I hear that song to this day, I get that little reminiscent flashback, which is to wrap it all up, basically, is the beauty of what music can do to the human consciousness and human brain is what drew me to it.
Does it also make you want to get Krispy Kreme every time you hear it?
Not as much anymore. So when I was younger, yeah, absolutely. I was like, hey, time to, because we had this tradition where before a long trip or before either of my parents would go on a trip of their own, we would hit Krispy Kreme either on the way to the airport or on the way of a drive. So as I got older, my metabolism slowed down, and the desire for Krispy Kreme slowed down a little bit.
The accessibility to the song became too much. You're like, this is the fourth time I've listened to it today.
Like, one more sprinkled down, it'll do.
No, but that's awesome. And I mean, it's like, it's funny because I actually have a question, which is, what's some of the earliest music you remember hearing? And I asked that because I kind of have a similar experience. Like my dad would always listen to She's Got the Look.
Okay.
Like, that was like, because he used to have like quick cars back in the day and like do all of that. And so that was always the song he would want to put on, like that he would put on when he would want to like jam, like if he wanted to get going, if he wanted to like feel cool in the moment, that was always the song that came on. So like I instinctually attached like exciting moments to music really early on because of that. So that's a really cool story to share. Thank you.
No, absolutely.
And then this next question we have, this is one that we check in with everybody on. It's kind of a fun foundation one. And this first one's one we asked early. It's one we asked often, and it's definitely a crowd favorite. What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
Oh man, it was Fall Out Boy Infinity on High, and anybody who knows me, just pretend I said Illmatic by Nas.
Oh yes,
we'll stick with that. But no, it was Fall Out Boy Infinity on High. We were in. My grandma had moved to Maui, and we were visiting her, and we went to this little like Saturday market that they had down in South Kihei Beach, and my mom and my dad have always been very anti-hip-hop when I was growing up. They were metalheads, like I was saying, and they didn't want me making or listening to hip-hop as much because I was a young kid, and I guess I didn't understand it as much till I got older. But we're sitting there. The first album I saw was the Marshall Mathers LP. And I'm like, Mom, can I buy this one? Can I buy this one? My mom said, absolutely not. You're not buying that album. And so I was like, okay. And I turned around and I saw the Fall Out Boy album, and I never heard them before. And I know what drew me to the album was the album cover.
Yeah.
And because it's got this beautiful, like, it's the colors are very vibrant. It's almost got like a little full circle that's on there, and with like a little moon. And the album cover drew it, and we put it into the car ride back to my grandma's house, and I was like, holy cow, I really like this. And but that was the first one I ever bought. That was the first album I ever bought. But like I said, if any of my friends ask, it was Illmatic by Nas, so we'll go with that.
Fair enough. We'll edit that out later.
Yeah.
No, I mean, honestly, first of all, that's a pretty iconic album for its time. Like, definitely, it kind of reached a lot of people. That was like when that really like put them on a lot of spaces as well.
Yeah, that album had Thanks for the Memories was on that album, which, I mean, at that point in time was their largest song.
Yeah.
And, it was just a complete album through and through. And, I don't regret it at all. I'm happy I picked it up that day at the little market in Kihei. So
no, definitely a quality first choice. Even if it was technically your second choice.
Yeah. But hey, the money paid for it, and that's all that matters.
Amen to that. And then what was the first live show you ever went to? That was like one you wanted to go. So you saw it was happening, you got the money, you went to it.
So first one that Do you mind if I answer the first? You know what? Okay, so the first one I ever paid for to go to was G-Eazy.
Okay.
And because Travis Scott, I had somebody had bought me tickets to go see Travis Scott because it was on my birthday. It was on December 22nd.
Okay.
So they were like, hey, let's go. And I would have bought tickets to that one. But the first one that I bought tickets to was G-Eazy. And that was for When It's Dark Out, his When It's Dark Out tour at the, I always want to say the Rose Garden, but the Moda Center.
Yeah. It's the Rose Garden in our heart.
It's the Rose Garden in Heart. It always will be. And it was actually a really good show. It was such a good show to where I've actually seen him live 5 times now.
Oh, damn.
I've seen him in Seattle. I saw him down in the Bay Area when I was visiting family. I saw him at the RV amphitheater up in like Battleground Ridgefield area up there. But I've seen him twice in Portland. So
okay, damn.
That was the first one I bought tickets to. And it was a good time. It was a good time for sure.
Have you ever done any like meet and greets or anything like that for any of the shows?
Not for like the big artists.
Or I meant for G-Eazy specifically. Did
not
you?
Not for G-Eazy. No,
okay.
We were going to one time and we ended up not doing it because so ASAP Ferg went on tour, was opening up for me. So that was another big reason I really wanted to do it because I was like, oh, this would be really cool. And Shaba was all over the place at that point in time. So we went to order the tickets for the meet and greet. And I misread how much the tickets were for the meet and greet.
They always end up being so much.
Yeah, it was so much more. So we did miss out on that, which is okay. We still had a great time at the concert, and we were on the floor, so we were nice and close. But I wish going back I would have honestly just sent it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask because like if you saw him at like smaller ones and then the bigger ones, like if he would have remembered you or not after going to that many of them. But who knows? Maybe he goes, hey, it's that guy again.
What's funny is I had my Buster Posey San Francisco Giants jersey, and with him being from the Bay Area, every single show I would I would hold up the jersey just like, hey, maybe he'll see me. And I don't know if he ever did. I like to tell myself he did, but I don't think. He did.
I don't think anybody else was holding one of those up here. So
no, probably not.
There's probably a good chance that like even if he didn't say anything, he definitely saw it. Like,
hey, we'll roll with that.
That's a hard one to miss for sure. Hell yeah. All right, and then before we get into you in the present day, do you have, because I mean, your background with music is already so extensive by this point. You've been playing for forever. You'd listen to a bunch of cool music. Your family was super supportive. But do you have a defining moment where you decided you wanted to take music more seriously?
Yes. So we had been, like I said, grew up on like hair metal. A lot of Megadeth was playing in the house.
Which funny, I meant to say Megadeth earlier because you were like, I don't have the vocal to be a singer. Dave Mustaine definitely doesn't have the vocals to be a singer, but he did it.
Yeah, but then there was also the, Hanger 18 I heard and I got so intimidated by it because I wanted to learn how to play Hanger 18 on the guitar. But
I learned how to play it on bass. I get it.
Yeah, no, I was in, so Megadeth was, something I really grew fond of. And then I kind of started shifting genres a little bit and trying to open my mind to more things than what my parents listened to. And the first time I ever heard rap or hip hop in general, I was sitting there and I heard California Love for the first time. And
quality jam.
Found it by accident. I was trying to look up Hotel California. And I was, on early YouTube back in the day, and I typed in California, and I couldn't remember the first name of Hotel California, and I see California Love, and I'm like, Dr. Dre, Tupac, who? Okay, and I clicked on it, and it was like the biggest rush of dopamine in my entire life. And from there, I was like, okay, I started looking into some things, and then I found Eminem through T-Pain, subsequently, because T-Pain showed me who Akon was, and then I found Eminem through Akon and his song Smack That. And after that, when I really kind of answer the full question now, when I really realized that this is what I wanted to do, I had been writing music for a long time and kind of started out as poetry and kind of expressing my feelings when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a contest called Team Backpack, and it was a rap, community out of as you probably are aware of, in the Southern California Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
And I entered into that in 2012. And I'm like 16 years old, and I got flown out, an opportunity to fly out to Mission Underground, San Francisco.
Oh, damn.
And so here I am, not knowing I have any business being here. And I go on stage, and I finally wait all day, it felt like. But I get up on stage, and the first bar that I have, I'm like, I'm going to flip up the script. I'm a Sick Pit versus Mike Vick.
Ooh.
And people in the crowd were like, oh.
Ooh.
It caught me off guard where I actually ended up screwing up a little bit during my set, and I missed the breath point. But it was that rush that I got from somebody reacting to me. And I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do forever. And I have not slowed down since then.
Damn. Well, that's definitely a defining moment for sure.
Oh yeah. It was like this. I felt all the spotlights turn on at once, and I was like, "All right, let's do this. Let's do this."
Hell yeah! No, I love that. But now let's go ahead and let's get on into you in the present day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're gonna get a super easy one out of the way. How'd you pick the name?
So, believe it or not, it's like the fourth or fifth name I've gone through. But martial law. So, when I was growing up, my uncle was LAPD, and he used to call me the Law Man.
Mm-hmm.
And so, kind of stuck around. Whenever I go see like my grandma and all them, they would call me Law.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of stuck a little bit. And then when I was thinking of names, my buddy and I are hanging out, and he's playing Tekken.
Okay.
And we're sitting there, we're playing, and then I'm like, man, what should I do? And he goes, martial law. And I'm like, well, he goes, well, people call you Law. He goes, your first name's Marshall. He goes,
boom.
Your favorite character to fight with on Tekken is martial law. And from there, it was that. And shout out C West for that.
Hell yeah.
C West, you're one of my closest friends, man. Thank you for everything you have done. But C West is an artist that is now located in Las Vegas. But he was the first person that actually really got me to believe in myself when it came to music. So I owe a lot to him.
Oh yeah.
So
now that's how convenient.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to be like, well, I really liked Eminem at a certain point. Like I thought I was going that direction, but like
the comparisons I've got my whole life because of the name. Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me.
But I mean, like that's such a good name to have, to also actually be your name, to also be attached as part of another nickname. That all actually ties together really well.
Yeah, no, it worked out. It worked. Some things I feel are meant to be, and this one fell into my lap, and I'm gonna run with it. So
yeah, no, it makes perfect sense on too many levels not to.
Yeah, absolutely.
I am curious though, what were some of the other names?
So when I was a kid, something that always irritated, I don't know why it irritated me, but people used to spell my name with one L. So I made my name double L, but the thing was, it was double LL because I really wanted to emphasize I had two L's in my name. And that was all fun and games until somebody was like, oh, well, you're basically saying you have four L's in your name. And I was just like, well, by golly, you're right. Like double LL would be LLLL. And so double L was one. Euphoric MC was the first one that I really came up with. And I realized that a lot of my music that I was making at the time was a little bit darker because I wasn't making it for anybody, but just to kind of vent for myself. Mm-hmm. And euphoric wasn't really the best fitting name for that.
That's fair. So, also, it's kind of a tough word.
It is. It is. It's really hard to brand because you type in euphoric on anything, and it's like euphoric CBDT.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to the sponsor.
Shout out Brothers Apothecary.
But, euphoric, double L. What else? At one point, I tried to just go by Law. Mm-hmm. Spotify didn't want to let me change that, so that's a whole other story for another time. And then, martial law. Martial law is kind of stuck. It's been martial law since 2019, and then this last year I tried to switch it to law, and then went back to martial law just because it was the ease of headache. So
yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Oh yeah, no, I dig that. Thank you for going
yeah,
down
absolutely.
the road with that. I'm always curious what some of the like lost names are for people because some of them are funny. Like I've never shared this on the show before. One of my old musical names is Cornelius Clutch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of alliterations.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that one because there was somebody who kept referring to me as Yukon Cornelius.
Okay.
I was like, I get it. I don't have red hair, but I get it. And then Clutch was my nickname in high school. So I was like, hey, those two words
You can't go wrong with Clutch. So.
Yeah, but spelling Cornelius is a pain. That one, I guarantee nobody else had it. So, but martial law, like I said, that just quality name. Quality.
I appreciate that.
But now let's go ahead and let's talk about your writing style. And we're gonna break it up into chunks and start right at the beginning.
Okay.
When you get inspired, you're ready to make music. What are some of the things you do to get a track started?
Oh wow, that is such a loaded question in a sense though, because there's so many. It really depends, and that's what I will say is it really depends on the mood I'm in. Because if I know, like if somebody sends me something, for example, and they're like, "Hey, I really want you on this," a lot of times it already has their verse and a hook and a general concept of where it's going.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I'll just start playing through the beat over and over and over, getting a feel for it, and then throwing some things out there and seeing what sticks. But when it's one of my own songs, a lot of it. So one of my favorite songs that I've made is called "Changed," and that song features a very talented, beautiful woman named Angel. She is extremely talented, and that song started out me trying something completely different. I put the beat on. It kind of just started just finding that melody that I wanted to go through and kind of humming through it. And I actually recorded the whole first tracking of that track was just me humming the different cadences that I wanted to use on that track and then putting the words to it later. And so that has become one of my favorite ways to write, is because I feel like when I do it like that, whether it's something that's melodic or if it's aggressive in your face, super fast, because I like to chop a lot. I like to use heavy lyrical schemes are one of my favorite things. Wordplay, running, different rhyme schemes, interior rhyme schemes, whatever I can do to kind of try to outwit myself is what I like to do when I'm writing. And, but I've found that if I'm humming to it and kind of listening to it, I get the idea of where I want that pocket to be and where I want the emotion to attach to the song, and it makes the writing process so much smoother for me in the long run.
Interesting. Well, it's cool to see that you can adapt that even up to, more recently, you're adapting your style all the time and like your way of approaching things and staying elastic to new ways of doing things. Cause that just, that I imagine it expresses longevity. But it's funny because you actually, we're going to go out of order.
Okay.
Usually I have a follow-up question to that, but you said so many things that have to do with what follows up the question after, or like the bit that I do after, that we're going out of order here. Because first of all, I noticed that you do have a variety of approaches, and I mean, and I literally used the word chopper in my thing here. But like, you're super quick, you're like tough and direct, but you also have a very like melodic and emotional side as well. And I was going to point out changes. And shout out to is it Little Ange?
It is Angel now. She changed her name not too long ago, so it is Angel.
Well, shout out Angel. And I just thought that was a really cool track. Like it pulls at the feels. And she has a great voice.
She has a fantastic
it's just such a good like complimentary addition to your sound as well. And like it was a really like felt track.
Yeah.
And like listening to some of the other, because I always do this bit where I pick out a personal track, and I had to pick out two.
Okay.
I couldn't just pick out one. The first one was Boom Bap. Because I mean, just
shout out
Nosy. There we go. Like I have a spot for those kinds of songs in general, and I thought that you did a good job of like the beat obviously embodies that feel, but like you guys did a good job of approaching it like that style, but not like mimicking that style.
Trying to put our own
yeah, it was still very much you. It
sense.
felt very, very much your sound, but in like almost an homage of that style of sound.
Man, you got me all. You know what's so funny is with that song. So when we first made, like, we both love that song. Nosy and I, we both love that song. We've got a couple other songs that aren't released yet together. But when we went to go we performed that song the first time. And I think we were expecting a lot different of a crowd reaction than what we got. It was kind of like, we're saying so much, and it's not, you know, one of these songs where it's got a beat that's like, you know, super current style, like you said. It's a boom bap track.
Yeah,
the thing is like, at first it bothered me, but then as time went on, I was like, people would come up and be like, oh, you guys said this line, and like they were catching it after the fact. That was a really cool feeling. And that is actually one of my favorite tracks that I've ever made. That is top 3 of my favorite tracks that I've ever made. But yeah, no, Nosy, I sent Nosy that track, and I sent him a track Nocturnal that Sleepy Samurai, myself, and him are on. And,
Sleepy Samurai.
Shout out Sleepy Samurai, absolutely. We'll get into that later. But I would not be anywhere without that man currently. But Nosy sends me back these verses both in one day. And normally I like to think that when I record a track that I hold my own, or that, you know, my confidence says like, yeah, you carried this track, and, you know, or at least it did for a long time. And that's just, you know, my confidence in myself. But
yeah. And especially if you're sending it, you're like, I got this.
Yeah.
I got this. Here you go. You got to match this.
Dude, he sends me his verse for Nocturnal, and Sleepy and I are sitting there, and we play his verse for the first time. I've never been so happy and so mad at somebody in my life.
He just bodied it.
It was fantastic. I mean, the wordplay, he matched the energy that me and Sleepy and I had brought on the track, and his ability to break things down and really to adapt, because boom bap and Nocturnal are so left and right on the style of songs.
Yeah, very much so.
And he did exactly what I could have wanted on both of those tracks. So I'm really glad you brought up Boom Bap, because I feel like that's one of the most underrated tracks that I have out.
Oh, no. I mean, it was when I was listening through for your music, it was like the first one that just like, I had to stop what I was doing. I usually do a dry run through and just like let it exist.
Yeah.
But like I heard that and immediately was like, I need to look at, like, this is what I'm going to talk about, because it's got a really cool sound to it. And again, y'all just nailed it. But the other one I wanted to bring up was Brain Splitter. And I mean, and this is where I use the word, but you had just this solid chopper flow throughout it. Like it would get quick, it would get slow, but like it just never lost that just, like it was just cutting through everything the whole time, but like fluidly. It had this gentle movement within it somehow, which I thought was really engaging and really interesting. And then you and Santavo, which shout out Santavo. Like your voices are so different. Like like his style is so different from yours. Like, but they both work so well with the song. It was almost like getting 2 songs for one, but it felt very together. So like that track was one where it's like, and they both like, you know, I mean, like, you know, your newest track and then Boom Bap and then that track, they all are just really good examples of the different styles of sound that you have, but they're all good songs.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate, one thing I try to do is I don't even know if I do it consciously. I think I do it subconsciously, but all my songs, as you kind of just stated, they sound different from each other. There's not really 2 songs that are going to be identical in any way. And going back to the writing process question that you asked me, and calling back to that, my songs dictate the mood I was in when I created that. Like I have a song, Dying. I don't know if you listen to Dying or not, but Dying is, for me, my most personal song.
I definitely did listen to it. Yeah.
It's my most personal song. It's one that I love because it's really me opening up and being vulnerable. And
yeah, the only reason I didn't bring it up because I was like, this one feels like this touches on some stuff. I don't know. Like,
it
I
definitely
want to
does.
just like jump at you with it. But it was,
and I appreciate that.
It is one I did consider picking. But I was like, this feels heavy topic. So please, I mean, if you would like to, I don't have notes on it, unfortunately. But
dying for me is so growing up and in high school when I was making music and you know, funny thing is I would make music on my little iPod Touch that I had, not even listening to the beat. I would write something, I would record something, and back in the days of Text Plus being an app and everything, they had the communities on there, and I was in a hip-hop community. I'm like 13 years old, and I found this other kid, and I sent him my vocals, and he found a random beat, and it was god-awful. It was so bad, but at the time, I thought it was the coolest thing in the world because I was hearing myself on these beats. And so what did I do? I put it out there way before I should have put anything out there. And
I mean, I think at 13, you get a pass. You can put anything
tell that
out.
to the other kids at school, but
yeah.
but no, they.
I'm not saying you're absolved of any ridicule.
Yeah.
I'm saying at 13, you're allowed to put out bad stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I put that out, and it was like after that, it was so hard to like tell people like, no, I'm seriously going to do this. But if you ask a lot of people that know me, like C West, for example, he would make comments to me about how fast I was able to develop my skills. And a lot of it was that I took a lot of pride in proving people wrong for a long time. And that's when I really fell into listening to Eminem super heavy, was because I could relate to it. But dying is the epitome of everything that I went through, whether it was addiction, whether it was alcoholism, whether they go hand in hand or not, but family, school, ridicule, and everything that I had been through that had made me who I am today.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't trade any of it for anything at this point in time. And dying to me is it is the full embodiment of who I am as an artist. So if you want to know more, if I haven't talked way too much during this interview, I know I like to talk a lot, but listen to Dying by Martial Law, because that will give you a full picture into my brain. But no, I love that song to death personally.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a really good track. And like I said, I could tell that it touched on a lot. And I mean, it's your interview. You could talk for as long as you want. Everybody, you're going to listen to him talk anyways. But definitely go check it out after this. But getting back into it, we're going to go back to the original next question that should have happened. Okay. And we're going to kind of tie two into together. So you can kind of answer one and lead into the other, or go first, however you'd like. Okay. But usually this is where I ask when you get a track finished writing. So it doesn't have to be released per se, but once it's written. And I mean, I guess before I say this, do you handwrite? Do you freestyle? Do you do a mix of both?
I handwrite.
Okay.
I handwrite. I'll freestyle for ideas and stuff like that. But every song I've ever done is either in a notebook or deep in my notes on here.
Oh, yeah. Well, then once you get a track finished, like being ready to go, either recorded or what have you, how long does it usually take you to get comfortable performing the track?
I'll do it same day.
Okay. So yeah, I guess
same day.
And that's always like kind of my assumption for people once they've like, if they do pen and paper or like, you know, the digital pen and paper, is that once you've handwritten it down, you've already gone through the motion of writing it down.
So like for me, because I have all my recording equipment is at my house. I've invested in myself to set myself up to not have to go anywhere else to record. And I'm also a perfectionist in the sense that like, if you listen to Changed, that harmony that you hear on the hook, that was probably like the 40th or 50th take of, I don't like this one, sounds a little bit too much like this. This is little. And with all that repetition, I learned the lyrics very quickly, unfortunately. Sometimes I've had songs where like I've done it so much of trying to punch things how I want it. And
you almost have to take a break.
I hate the song. By the time it's ready to come out, I'm like, I don't want to hear this anymore. And Then I listened to it again after I released it. I'm like, yeah, okay, no, it's actually a good song.
It's a banger. I'm sorry, me.
But yeah, I'll do things maybe with like a backing vocal. I'll do them first day, ready to perform without the backing vocal and like on an actual show mix. If I know I'm performing that song and I want to perform it, a few days.
Okay.
If it's gonna come from natural occurrence, I just gotta find the time to put the time in to learn it. But I mean, a lot of it's, it's like hand-eye coordination. You wrote it, it's there. And
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of just teach in your brain, okay, this is what I say next. So.
Yep. No, I totally get that. And then the second part of the question, which usually ties in after the song breakdowns, what is your favorite song to perform?
It's my favorite and least favorite because I do it every show.
Okay.
I have a song called Evil off of Legacy EP, which was the EP I dropped a couple years ago now. Sounds like it's about time for a new one. And that song, the hook goes, I'm the evil rap dude, tall white boy, skinny jeans and tattoos, fist 40 ounce, half G and Pascal. And then I say, step in front of me. And the crowd says, I'm going to do what I have to. And so the whole next part of that hook is just back and forth of me going, step in front of me, and them yelling back, I'm going to do what I have to. And
classic call and response.
Yeah, and I love it for that crowd interaction. Like we did it up in Seattle, Sleepy and I up there, Yes, did it up in Seattle because I had Chris Calico the following weekend. And it's great seeing the... Let me take that back. I did it at Chris Calico, not at Kasky. And the crowd of that magnitude.
Yeah. Also, two quality name drops right there. Yeah.
Whoops. But no, Chris Calico. It was Chris Calico, Locksmith, and Ven J. And that crowd shouted it back. And I'm dealing with the vocal cord issue still, as you can kind of hear my voice a little raspy. And my voice was gone by the time I got to that because I closed out my set with it. So Sleepy's up there yelling it for me, yelling to step in front of me. And the whole crowd, there's a video of me, and you've got 200 to 300 people out there yelling it back, and you see me just soaking it all in, like smile on my face. But the flip side of that is people expect me to do it, I feel like, now at this point.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of like the whole I write sins, not tragedy song.
Yeah, man. It's like, it gets old after a while, but it's like every time I go to a show, are you doing that? Are you doing Evil tonight? And I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, I am. But it's my favorite and least favorite to perform. I will tell you that's going to change soon. I have a song coming out. I won't disclose when, but the song I made called For the City. And this song, I did it for the first time at Chris Calico.
Okay.
And
well, if y'all weren't there, you missed it.
You definitely missed out, but it will be coming soon. And this song is literally just me paying homage to the fact that I'm a guest in this culture of hip hop, and I'm very aware of that. And me paying homage to those in this city and this genre who have done this before me and have allowed me to do this. And it's showing my love for Portland. Even being from Vancouver never gave me a chance with hip hop. Portland did.
Yeah.
And so even though I'm not a Portlander, I'm from Vancouver, my heart lies with Portland for that very reason. So that song will end up passing it, but we're going to wait for that one to come out first.
Okay. Hell yeah. Well, actually, that's a good segue into this next question, which looking at music you're currently working on, stuff that's not out yet, what are some of the descriptive elements? Like, how would you describe new sound you're working on? And, like, what can we look forward to, like, stylistically?
So I'm working on two different projects at once. So I'm working on a collaboration project with Bobby Barrz, who is an artist.
Okay, shout out Bobby Barrz.
Shout out Bobby Barrz. I'm actually going to the day shift after this. If you haven't ever been, you should definitely come down sometime. Every Thursday, Donnell's 5 to 8. He hosts the day shift. It's an open mic opportunity for local artists, comedians, whoever they might be, to come on by and get a chance to put themselves on a stage in front of people. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing that he's done over there.
Definitely go check out his episode. He talks about it pretty in depth as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, that is one of my brothers. I love that man to death. And we're working on a project together, which is stylistically, it's a lot more of what I'm I'm best at, which is, lyrical chopping, but still withholding a little bit of emotion in there, and pride would be the thing.
Okay.
My personal project, which is slated for a later date release, is called Ground Zero. And this is not going to be an EP. This is going to be a full album.
Oh, exciting.
And Ground Zero is exactly what the title says. This is where I rebuilt from, and where everything that brought me to where I am in my life has allowed me to build from.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more emotion, raw emotion in that album. I'm doing what I've always wanted to do on a couple of tracks, and mixing rock and rap, which is something that, with my roots and my influences from music growing up, I wanted to be a rock singer. I really did. And you can catch me at karaoke. I will be doing Kryptonite by Three Doors Down. I'll be doing some Black Hole Sun by Soundgarden, rest in peace to Chris Cornell. If I had the vocal range, I'd be doing some Linkin Park, rest in peace to Chester. But no, it's very emotional. And one of the big things is that I'm paying homage, in a sense, to those who have helped me get here. And King Laz, rest in peace. Laz had a really big impact on me. And I've taken time to revamp some of this album to dedicate at least some of the tracks towards what he has taught me. So it's a lot more raw emotion coming up, mixed in with some of, obviously what I'm best at. But I want this album to be, if I never make another track after that people remember me for who I was and what I left as an impact on this genre and this city, as what I could do for every other artist that I can. So
yeah, damn. Well, definitely looking forward to that.
I will definitely keep you posted on that for sure.
We'll have to have you back when you finally put it out. For I do another segment called Jambox Tuned In, where we talk about new albums as they come out. So
I will definitely we'll be in contact about that.
We'll do that off the pod. Let's get into the next one. And actually, for the next one, we're gonna zoom all the way out, because we've gone all the way in. We're talking about music that hasn't even happened yet.
Yep.
But we're gonna take a big step back.
Okay.
And we're gonna look at music as a whole.
Okay.
What are some of the things about more current music, new sounds that are happening, that you enjoy?
So, of new sounds that are happening, it's a hard question for me to answer, because of the fact that, like, I've dove so far into this community and to this genre that, like, most of the music I listen to now is local artists. And
well, I mean, that's the newest music.
Yeah, and that's perfect. So, like, what I'm really loving is that especially with these local artists, is everybody is kind of using their freedom to express who they are. And the same thing can be said amongst more mainstream artists. Another thing I'll probably get hate on for saying, but I'm low-key, I love listening to Taylor Swift music. Like, grew up, my mom used to play her old, like, country stuff in the car, but Taylor Swift's last album that she just dropped, the Torture Post Society, beautiful album through and through. And just the different genres right now, I feel like every genre has something going on that is helping boost the music up. And not all of it's in positive manner. I mean, Drake and Kendrick have their little thing that's going on. And yes, it's boosted hip hop up to where, the culture is seeing this, like, okay, we're back to kind of asserting our dominance. But there's drawbacks of negative energy like that. But I'm really loving just kind of seeing, especially in the local people, how we can all come together and work together and take, like, Momentum, for example. Yeah. Momentum is
shout out Momentum.
Musically talented dude.
Yeah.
And he can take influences, and I envy him in this regard, because he can take influences from one genre here, hip hop here, this here, and blend it together into this unique sound. And
it just works.
It works.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, if you hear his music recorded, go to a Momentum show.
Yeah.
Because that man's confidence when he is on stage. I've watched him, Louis B, Change of Season for the first time that I watched them ever perform.
Shout out Louis B and Change of Season.
Absolutely. To now, it's like not a Big Brother moment because like I didn't do this for them. You know what I mean? They are owed all of this from their own work. But like from the outside looking in and be able to be a part of some of their growth.
I mean, from a friend standpoint.
Yeah, from a friend standpoint, I'm so proud of these guys because like they've given Vancouver a statement of, hey, we do hip hop shows too. And Steven and the crew over at Hawaiian Vapor has been very hospitable towards everybody and giving us a voice out here where a lot of venues don't want to touch hip hop.
Yeah.
They don't. And so they're doing a beautiful thing for this city and giving us a chance to put ourselves on the map. It's just really beautiful to see, man. Honestly, it is.
Yeah. No, damn. That is a great answer to that question. And I appreciate that it comes from a local artist focus. Cause like I said in response, local music is the newest music. It's like, it's the not even on the radio most of the time music yet. So like to hear it, you have to be in it. And it sounds like just, from the names that you've dropped and like your feelings on the matter, like it's really appreciative how like supportive you are from, like you said, the outside in, but also from the inside out. Like you are out there, you are performing, you are doing the things, but you're also making the connections and building your own community within it. So I think that's a great answer to the question. And then before we move in to the next portion, I've got one more question to go in kind of the current, and this is probably the densest question in the interview.
Oh boy!
But we've talked, we've talked a lot about your experiences, the actions, the reactions, your even your interactions with people. But when it's just you and the music one-on-one, what does music give back to you?
Peace. It gives me peace. I'm somebody who constantly is overthinking. Like I said, perfectionist. It's given me a lot of opportunities. One, to get myself in front of people that I never thought I would have got myself in front of. Kasky, for example, is an artist. I followed him since 2013, 14-ish era. He had a song called Weak Stomach when he was like 18 years old with Machine Gun Kelly on it. And following his growth through the Black Sheep albums, through the Generation X album, all the way up to current day, and then getting to perform for him, meet him, have conversations with him. We're actually... I can't say this. We'll edit this part out, but
we don't do edits on this.
Well,
we'll talk about it off camera.
We'll talk about it off camera. Just to be in these positions that we're in, I'm so thankful for it. But the number one thing, if I never got into these opportunities, it gave me a sense of self-worth and a sense of peace, and that is why I made music in the first place. I never wanted to get rich and famous. I could care less about it.
Yeah.
All I want is that I have something that is my therapy and is my way of getting my thoughts out and my emotions out. And if somebody else in the world can relate to it and it helps them through a hard time that they're going through, then I feel like I've left a positive impact on this world, and that I was able to take something that I've put so much into, and that it not only gave back to me, but gave back to somebody else. And that's the most beautiful thing I can ask for.
No, I love that. And yeah, I mean, I think that answer shines through in a lot of what you've been saying before, how it's cool that you invest so much in it, but your investment in it is to the self-worth is there. Like, obviously you find a positivity, but I like how your answer just includes I want people to take from it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very communal, which is cool to see that it's not just like how you approach the listening side of things, but it's how you even present within your music yourself. So thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
But now let's go ahead. Let's move on to some hypothetical questions.
Okay.
And for these, sky's the limits. The questions are all made up, so the answers are allowed to be as well. But this first one's pretty straightforward. If you could work with any one person, the only requirement is they have to be alive.
Okay.
Who would you want to work with, and how would you want to work with them?
If I could work with any person alive, it's Eminem.
Okay.
It's Eminem. I mean, I would love to be able to just. I've always wanted to just take a trip into his mind just to see how that thing works. But to be able to kind of get on a track with him, watch how he produces, watch how he works, and study that. It'd be Eminem. Would be the very top. Non-hip hop. If I could work with anybody, it's a tie between Santana, because I would love to have Santana guitar riff.
That would be amazing.
It's a tie between Santana and then working with Linkin Park and having the rest of the bandmates create like a rock rap album with me. That would be so sick.
That would be wild.
But
also, clever way to sneak in multiple answers there. You were like, non-hip hop approach. I'm like, all right, I'll let it. I'm curious. No, but I mean that. And also, that's a cool take on it. Just being like the remaining members of Linkin Park, like working in the way that they work to like give you an opportunity to like do your thing. That actually is a really cool.
That'd be so cool. That'd be so cool.
Oh yeah. And then subsequently, and I imagine you're going to have a little bit harder of a time answering this one because you've already done this with so many people. But who is a local artist that you're aware of that you haven't gotten to connect with yet that you would like to?
Wow. I've worked with a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'd say work with. I've worked with so many people. Saya the Kid.
Okay.
And Hooligan Jules.
Yeah, shout out Saya and Hooligan.
I would work with them. I'm big fans of what they do. I know them and we know each other. We just haven't ever got the chance to actually do anything together. Other than that, probably Talilo. Talilo would be.
Oh, yeah. Shout out Talilo. Yeah.
That'd be the other one I could really think of, because the one thing I have been blessed with is I have made a lot of connections and met a lot of people. And if I can't think of anybody else, it's probably because I'm not aware of them yet. So if I'm not aware of you, please tap in, because I love listening to local music and I love supporting the local community. So please send me your stuff.
Oh yeah. Usually I say to tag the people that you mention, but we're going to switch it up. Everybody tag somebody you would want to see.
Yes,
track with Marshall Witt.
I love that.
Let's switch it up that time. Let's get some interaction going, because that I think would be rad.
That'd be cool. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. And I mean, I think that there are a lot of dope artists out here, and I would love to get you guys' opinion.
Hell yeah. Yeah, now that you've gotten that part out, clip this part, take it and put it all over your social media. Let's see if we can drive that up.
100%.
We'll do a full collaboration album. But now let's move on to the next one. And this one, like I said before, sky's the limits, and it's pretty literal in this sense. But if you could perform anywhere in the world, and you wouldn't have to worry about crowd access or building stability or power, guaranteed the best lineup, guaranteed the best show, and it doesn't have to be a venue. It can be anywhere, and it would work in this concept. Where would you want to perform?
Madison Square Garden.
Hell yeah.
Selling out Madison Square Garden would be, I mean, because if you think about like the artists that have sold out Madison Square Garden, and Hollywood Bowl would be cool too.
I mean, MSG is like that. Like I've even said it before on the show that I would love to do this there. Like if I could do,
that would be
like
cool.
Just in the middle, just everybody, like it. That is one of those places that like. That is the peak. You know what I mean? Like that is one.
Yeah, if you sell out Madison Square Garden, if you have a full Madison Square Garden, you've done it.
I mean, even if you only had half of it, like to be in Madison Square Garden, like to be performing there.
Yeah, I don't care if nobody shows up. If I'm performing in Madison Square Garden, I'm like,
yeah,
Mom, I did it.
Yeah. No, that is one of those places that's just. It means something, you know what I mean? Like, not to say all the other places don't, like, obviously anywhere that you play is a meaningful experience, but that is one of those places.
That's one of like the pillars of like you get here and it's like, okay, you're doing something really, really major now.
Yeah, like and it's like, where do you go from there? Like that's one of those spots where you're like, you only have so many other places that even compare. So yeah, no, I definitely support that answer. And then to wrap up the hypothetical questions.
Okay.
If you could get one more album from anybody, they could be alive, they could be dead, they could have not put out an album in 100 years, they could have put out an album yesterday. Who would you want an album from?
Big L.
Hell yeah.
Big L.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that one ready to go.
Yeah, Big L would be number one on that list. Other than that, Michael Jackson.
Hell yeah.
If a Michael Jackson or Big L album came out tomorrow and they were like, hey, unreleased, you wouldn't see me for like 2 weeks because I would be sitting there with my headphones on nonstop.
Yep.
So.
No, 2 quality answers for sure. Hell yeah. All right. But that being said, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this up.
Yeah.
What can we look forward to between, let's say, now and the end of November?
So between now and the end of November, I will be opening up for Stevie Stone.
Okay.
That'll be August 10th. That'll be at the PDX Event Center in Gresham, Oregon. Tickets, we will have those in hand here pretty soon. I will be throwing a show July 19th at the Waypost off of Williams Avenue in Portland, Oregon. More details on that will be announced here shortly.
Is that before or after the wedding?
That'll be after the wedding.
Nice.
And then other than that, music. Lots of music coming out. We have like I said, Bobby Barrz and I have a whole EP that we're working on. Going to be multiple songs. I've got songs on Sleepy Samurai's upcoming projects that he has to be announced. I have my album, Ground Zero, which I'm hoping to have everything finalized and on the market before November. And then, King Laz's birthday show. We are doing a memorial birthday show. I will be a part of just being there. I'm not performing, but I will be there. I'm letting my vocal cords heal. But May 19th, just a lot of seeing me out in the community and being out there showing love. So,
oh yeah, well, definitely looking forward to all of that. For this next one, go and look straight at the camera. Tell everybody how they can find you.
Just look. No, I'm just kidding. You can find me on Instagram at Law Music Page. Find me on Spotify, Apple Music, everything else under Martial Law. If you can't find me there, find me on Facebook. I'm pretty easy to find. Message me. I'll send you links to whatever else you need.
Oh, yeah. And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else you want to put on while you're on here?
I do want to shout out Souffle. Souffle is one of the best brands out here. They are adult friendly. And if you're interested, definitely tap in with Souffle. I got to shout out, first off, my beautiful woman, Molly, for everything you've done to support me and helping me get to where I'm at. My parents, Sleepy, Nosy, everybody else in between, Angel, you guys have really done a lot for me. And like I said earlier, the one person I cannot skip on is C West, because without C West, you have been the Dre to my Slim. Without you, there is no me. So I love you, brother. And Jimmy, honestly, thank you for having me on here today, man.
Oh, yeah. No, it's been a pleasure. But that being said, we've got one last question to go.
Go, boy.
Before we do, I'm going to steal the camera for just a second.
Okay.
As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to the Brothers Apothecary. Make sure to click the link below and go check them out. I guarantee you're going to like it. Don't forget to use code JAMBOX for 20% off and a free gift. And with that being said, the final question. And this is entirely up to your interpretation.
Okay.
But what is an album you feel is more on the obscure side? It's a deep cut. It's one not a lot of people would know, but it's one you think everybody should know.
The Fish Tank by the Antelope Fishermen.
Okay.
The Fish Tank is, I believe, and Figure Eight, don't get mad at me. If also shout out Figure Eight.
Shout out Figure Eight. We've actually had a grip of the fish on the show.
Yeah, the Fish Tank is a wonderful collection. The Antelope Fishermen really did their thing with this album.
Mm-hmm.
I was lucky enough to get my hands on that, and then also the Little Fidget EP.
Yep.
Figure Eight's album.
We did an entire Jambox Tuned In episode about it.
His song Amy is one of my all-time favorite songs. And that's not just local, that's everybody. His song Amy, I love that song to death. But definitely anything the Antelope Fishermen drop. And Angel, by the way, is also now a member of the Antelope Fishermen. So,
oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Anything the Fish drop, I'm tuning in for. And I feel like they deserve more credit than they get. And not that they don't get credit, but it's just such a great collection of artists.
Yeah.
They've got everybody like two of my personal favorites, and not to say that they're better than anybody else, but Lil Indigo and Spades.
Oh, shout out Lil Indigo and Spades.
They are so talented, and their duo that they had of Young Game, and then coming into the Fish and blending and creating this unique sound. It's dope to hear. And I mean, even if I don't ever do anything else with music, like I will always be there listening to everybody else doing their thing, and I'm a fan of them for life. So
hell yeah. No, I mean, that is a quality rec for sure. And definitely, like I said, go check out their episodes after this as well. The Fisherman and Figure Eight each have their own experiences. So definitely worth checking out. But those are called quality recs. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get up and out of here. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been an honor.
Hell yeah. This has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's Jambox. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Marshall Law.
And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
Peace.
That's a wrap.
This is not a podcast. This is a show.
Keep jamming.